Great. Well, good evening, everyone, and very warm welcome to everyone. Tonight we have the most amazing Alex Hamer-Webb.
You're so naughty.
And he's in seclusion there, so you can see slightly, blue lights, and
I'll get a bit closer. There you go. You can see me.
oh, that's it. Come on. Let's get in closer. Anyway, Al, it's such a pleasure to have you on tonight, and I know that you are very selective with the calls that you're doing at the moment, and Robin was brilliant at sort of fending me off. That's Robin is Alex's daughter and his PA, and she said, "Oh no, you can't possibly do anything until the new year." But anyway, you're on now. And we're so grateful for the fact that you're on, and there are so many people on tonight. So, Al, the first thing I just really want to ask you, some people know your story, but perhaps some people don't. Tell us how you got attracted to, the Juice Plus company, NSA as it was then. What drew you in?
Okay. Well, first thing I'd like to say, James, anything for you, mate. Anything.
Oh, thank you, Al. Thank you.
Anything. I mean, you've helped me so much along my journey. Like you don't even know how much you've helped me.
Oh, okay.
Which is so nice. So yeah, thank you, James, for all that. But it's great to be on this call. I don't often do calls outside my my own business, which is, well, I do, but very rare, because I'm doing like 3 a night at the moment sometimes, and that's why my PA has been a bit of a rock violet and holding everyone back. But what did you say?
Yeah, I just asked you, what drew you first of all into the Juice Plus company, NSA? What first attracted you to everything that was going on?
Okay, yeah. Well, I was hairdressing for 22 years, which was okay. I made good money. For anyone who doesn't know my story, I worked very, very hard. I was first person in, last person out, all that sort of stuff. But I had 2 very good salons in Bath. At the time, I was actually mentioned about this business. And the person who introduced me to this business came outside my shop on a Saturday afternoon. And by the way, I'd known this guy since he was 12. And he drove outside, brand new BMW, looking really brilliant. And this guy, I used to lend him fivers because he was so skint to put petrol in his car. Now, when he drove up like that, I thought, hey, hold on a minute, what's going on? And he said to me, Alex, I've seen something that is tailor-made for you. Now, hey, come on, man. I've been making money with my hands all my life. In fact, Michelle's on the line right now, Michelle Johns. Sorry, Michelle Pugh. Michelle, which one are you? Anyway, she's my Michelle anyway. She's my Michelle, and she always will be. And she'll know, you can talk to Michelle. We actually came to Bath at exactly the same time, 37 years ago. And she was a young beautician, and I was a young hairdresser. And for whatever reason, we just locked in, and we're in that environment. So Michelle can tell you exactly where I was at 22 years ago. You know what I mean? There's no point in me sort of bluffing you or saying anything else. I was a bit of a rock and roll hairdresser. I had long dreadlocks, torn jeans, and that's the way my salon was. It was a very, very, how can I put it, streetwise sort of salon. And outside we had it in Japanese, people's salon, which was for anybody, because I was West End trained. I was trained in Bond Street, New Malton Street, all these things. The best hairdressers you can think of, I got that training when I was a very, very young boy. And I was very fortunate. So I lived in the West End and I worked in the West End. So I actually was able to bring that back to my own salon. So we were giving great quality, but a very, 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 very low price, because I went around all the hairdressers in Bath and I thought, we're going to beat their prices. We will work harder than any other hairdressers in Bath, but we'll give them a better standard. And we did do that. And so my partner was the first drummer from Tears for Fears, a guy called David Eccles. You can probably look it up. Tears for Fears used to busk in my salon. There was only 2 of them. There was only Kurt and Roland at the time. They used to busk in my salon, on a Saturday for, I think it was 70 quid or something like that. They were just getting really, really busy just before they brought out the albums. So my salon was really rocking. It was very much in the forefront of everything in Bath, and it was very different to what I mean, it's not hard to be different in Bath, to be truthful. You know, everyone's got their head up their arse. And if it's anyone who lives in Bath right now, sorry, but they're all a little bit like, you know, stuff like that, which I never bought into. I think at the end of the day, you know, you are what you are, and be the best of what you can be with people. That's what I've learned now. So what actually brought me in, I went to a meeting in Docklands, and, you know, Shay said, you know, go there, see what you think. So I went there, I actually borrowed a suit, which is a little bit small for me. I'm stood in the crowd with everybody else, with Shay, and Shay goes up and gets £2,000 and a pin. I had no idea what it was all about. The whole conference, I did not understand it. But what I did understand is above average people were going up on stage earning, people who I didn't think would be getting that sort of money were going up on stage. I mean, they weren't anyone special. And I thought to myself, hold on a minute, you know, I've got a brain. I can do this. Whatever these guys are doing, if he can earn £15,000 in 1 month. And by the way, James, you so opened my mind to the possibilities that it didn't matter where you came from. It was about effort-related business. And that's what Shay told me. He said, "Oh, this is a numbers business. You know, not everyone you talk to, the first 10 people aren't going to say yes. You know, and at first, most people, when they come in this business, they think, God, I've seen something, it's incredible, bloody, 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 sick all over people, you know what I'm talking about. You know, they just spew all the information out in one go. Well, guess what? People prejudge at that point. You're actually doing that. They're prejudging what they need to do in order to take advantage of this opportunity. And my feelings at the time was I was just going around talking to anyone, just anyone. Shay said it was numbers. The more people you talk to, the better it is. I was talking to anybody. I even paid for the signing up form. Now, anybody who's thinking of doing that right now on this call, forget it. You cannot buy somebody else's opportunity. You cannot finance somebody else's desire to go and change their lives. You can't do it. They either want to or they don't. And guess what? It doesn't make any difference whether you give them £1 million or not. They're either in or they're out, because it's about timing in people's lives. The timing for me, when I saw this business, was if it doesn't matter whether I'm a man or a woman, black or white, religious or non-religious, it was all to do with effort. Now, what Shay O'Brien knew, he knew that I was a really hard worker. I mean, I worked so hard when I was in the hairdressing business, especially towards the latter end. I was earning anything between £800 and £1,000 a week. And that was going back 27 years now, guys. That's a lot of haircuts. Mm. That's a lot of haircuts. I mean, I was doing 3 people an hour. One was being washed, one was being finished, and one I was cutting. Seriously, that's how it was, yeah? It was like a machine. It was called factory hairdressing. But even though it was a factory style of bringing people in and taking them out, we still gave them great quality. And that's why they came back. And you know, we had 2 very busy salons. But I was coming to the point where I just thought to myself, do you know what? My future is an old barber. It's an old hairdresser. And I was looking at all these things where I saw these old Jamaican guys still cutting hair at 70. And I thought, no. There's got to be something more in life than just cutting hair. You know, even though I was earning good money, it was paying for my children, it was paying the mortgage. And that's why I worked so hard, because I had 3 kids at the time. But I couldn't walk out of there and go, hey, I'll go to college, because I was dyslexic. You know, I was brought up in kids' homes. So, you know, I sort of like, I missed that little gap where the education system was meant to come into you, you know, between the age of 7 or whatever it is. So I was in kids' homes from the age of 2 to 15 and a half. So I was just I was rebelling all the way through there, just rebelling. They thought I was nuts. I went to 1 million homes with kids' homes, but I kept going back to Wales, funnily enough. By the way, James, I can speak Welsh. Can you believe it?
Wow, okay.
I know, I grew up in North Wales, in Llandudno, which is the craziest thing, you know, totally out of my actual, how can I put it, the way I was meant to be brought up. You know, I was meant to be brought up, mum and dad, my dad was meant to be Jamaican, all this sort of stuff. I was not that person. So I was not necessarily given the right tools to come out into the wide world and make things happen. So I was always getting into trouble because I didn't know whether what was. I'm not sure whether the right way of saying it is whether it was the right thing or the wrong thing. But I never had any mentors when I was a young laddie. You know what I mean? Really young, when it's most important thing. And go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, no, I mean, it's an amazing story, Al. And there are two things that I really want to focus on now, really. The first is you going NMD.
Yeah.
How you went NMD. I know you feel like a long time ago, but a number of people will be thinking, God, I really want to go NMD. I want to go NMD.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that. And the other thing that I really want to talk about is the mentoring that you do now. Because you have brought some people through in an unbelievable way. You know, John, obviously, Julia Krychek, Cassie Smith. You know, these people you have really mentored. I mean, you say you didn't have a mentor before yourself, but you've become like the most unbelievable mentor. But before we get on to that, let's start now with the whole thing about you becoming an NMD. How did you make it through to NMD? Because obviously not everyone went NMD, of course, but you were determined to do it. And take us through that a little bit.
Well, when I saw you as an NMD, I thought I can be an NMD. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. No,
absolutely.
I'm kidding. No, I did see certain people going NMD, and but you know, as James will sort of back me up on this, when I first came into this business, it was all city boys with unbelievable education. These guys went to public school. I never even knew there was a public school then existed. You know what I mean? Mine was like virgin on naughty school, you know what I mean? Consistently all my life. So when I went to London, I met people like James who were really eloquent and, you know, could read everything off the, you know, it's all part of what you've been given. You know, they could read it off the charts. They could write it really quickly. I mean, I've never ever used, if anyone was in Liverpool, they didn't see any shots or me writing bits down, because I'd look at it and I'd have to work it out before I put it out on the loudspeaker on stage. So I don't do that. I literally come from my personal experience of what I needed to do. And going NMD was probably one of the most satisfying things I've ever done in my life. No, seriously, because, you know, I'd cut hair all my life, so it was like willy-nilly. I could cut hair with my eyes shut, you know. But when this new thing came along where I actually thought, NMD's the top pinnacle, and I want to be that.
And how did you do it?
I went to work.
Tell us about that. Tell us about that. What did you do? What did you do?
When I first saw the opportunity, I would go out. When I finished work, I would then go out and talk to as many people as possible. At the time, it was water filters. So we were giving people water filters to try for a week. And I would literally, if somebody sat in front of me in the hairdressing shop, I would pull out one of the water filters and put them in front of them before I cut their hair. And I'd say to them, listen, I want you to try this out. And they go, yeah, of course, no problem, Alex. Yeah, because I'm about to cut their hair. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I would just get loads of people trying these water filters out. I didn't understand the business. I probably failed my way to NMD. I know it sounds crazy to say that, but I did everything wrong in the book. I spewed over people about the opportunity. I signed people up in the business and paid for them. I did everything wrong, but I just kept doing it and learning by my own mistakes. You know what I mean? When my mentor said, no, you can't do that, Al, give it a value. You know, when somebody signs up, make sure they've got a value. If they don't want to sign up and they don't want to invest their £50 into the business, forget it, because you're investing it inside yourself.
And Al, what was your first big breakthrough? What was your first? Because I mean, everybody's, you know, people saying, look, I'm building, I'm going for it. But, you know, there's often a big breakthrough that comes.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing is there was a guy who was the road manager for Tears for Fears, a guy called A.D. Wilson, and top guy, really, really nice guy. And he used to go on tour with like people like Meatloaf and stuff like that. I'm not dropping names. It's just that I was actually in the music industry and all that sort of stuff. So it was normal. And he said, I'm going to Germany. And Germany was about to open up. So I gave him a water filter. And this is true. My hand on my heart, this is true. I gave him a water filter and said, give it to somebody. in Germany and see what they think. And he gave it to a lady who was she's the chef of Meatloaf. She'd go on tour around the world with Meatloaf, a lady called Patty Unwin. And she thought, oh, this is a really amazing product. She loved the clean water. She was English. And she rang me up, and then we started talking a little bit. And then she brought her husband in called Klaus, who looked like a Greek god. He was about 6'7", long blonde hair, and a fabulous looking guy, but didn't see the opportunity. In fact, those two used to argue about who's going to be the most successful. Man and wife. I was like, this is wrong. Like, work together, hello. Anyway, it went down the line to about this guy called Bernie. And Bernie was a musician. He used to make all the music for supermarkets in Germany. And that's all he did, right? In fact, I think he was on Top of the Pops in Germany at one point. But anyway, cut long story short, it was his wife, Gailey, who actually saw the opportunity. And she said, look, Bernie, listen to Alex. He knows what he's doing. Well, at the time, I'd just gone, I think I was virgin on NMD, but, going to it. And I went over to Germany, and I can remember this. This is crazy, right? I got on the plane, went to Germany, got off at Hamburg, and the A was off. The letters A was off in Hamburg. And I just thought, this is how the Beatles must have felt. Because something was happening. I thought, oh my God, this is my big break. Anyway, Bernie sort of got me. He understood where I was coming from. He got I call it a bit of a crazy head. It's not crazy. It's just that I think out of the box because I've had to all my life. Yeah. So I apply that now to this business. And anybody who thinks they think out of the box, you're on track. Okay. Just think out of the box, because that's where the big money is, right? So anyway, cut long story short, his wife, Gailey, I got on so well with her. She's a top lady, massive respect and love. And she said, no, I like what's going on. Anyway, I go backwards and forwards. I spent all the money I made on going backwards and forwards to Germany. Hotels, flights, whatever it was. So I was investing in me. I was investing in me to go backwards and forwards to Germany. I couldn't speak German. Bernie did all the translation. And at first, we got a few people, then they went, and then they came back. And I did it for about 6 months, nearly a year. And it come to a point where I thought, well, hold on a minute, Alex, you're spending all this money. Maybe you should start backing off a bit. And my mentor said, Alex, pull back a little bit. Pull back bit by bit by bit, and allow them to become the leaders. Listen to me very carefully about this, because sometimes what we do is we put our arms around people so tight that they cannot develop into leaders. Okay? Trust me on this one, yeah?
Yeah.
So I pulled back off these people, and Shay said, no, it's going to be okay. It's either going to collapse or something's going to happen. So a couple of months went by, then 6 months. And I think on the 7th month, Bernie rang me up and said, I need you. I said, okay, fine. So I jumped on a plane, got there, and there was 40 people in the room. 40 people. I was like, wow, something's happening. I don't know what's happening, but this is happening. So he translated everything that I'd learned from my mentor, Shay. I was passing it down to Bernie, and he was translating it into German. It started to rumble. It started to grow. I started getting excited, okay? But it still wasn't getting to the point where I thought, hey, hold on a minute, this stuff about getting passive income and all this, when's it going to come? And I used to shout at Shay, my mentor. I'd be sat on the stairs at 12 o'clock at night saying, when's my business going to break? When's it going to sort of do what yours did? Like James's and all these other people, Gordon's, everybody else's. They were going mental in London. I was thinking, why isn't mine? Am I doing something wrong? Anyway, cut long story short. Now, we're now moving forward a little bit, yeah? We're talking about 22 years forward. Germany has been my biggest business for nearly 20 years. It has financed me, my family, my lifestyle, my mortgages, my holidays, whatever. That has been the major core for years and years and years and years and years. And guess what? This is the craziest thing. I haven't worked in Germany now properly for 10, maybe 15 years. And I mean that, my hand on my heart. I don't need to go there. There's so many leaders. But you probably heard of Julia Krychak. Now, Julia had been in the business 15 years, and she rang me up and she said, Alex, what are you guys doing in the UK? You're getting incredible growth. I said, I can't explain it to you, Julia. You have to feel it. And I really meant that. You have to feel the psychology and the philosophy. It's all about caring. It's all about giving, you know, which is what I've been taught. Now, Julia is going to be the first person, not female or male, the first person in my business to do £2 million pay line.
Wow. 2 million?
After 15 years, yeah. She was
£2 million pay line. And what are we talking about? In what period?
Per month.
Per month?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And talk us through all that, because when she came to you, her business was really not doing well at all, was it?
She was doing 60,000 euros a month and suffering, because 60,000 a month for an NMD is is not very good after 15 years. You know, she just had a baby. She was struggling. She was thinking of blowing out the business. And I said to her, because I know Julia and I know her energy, and we locked in together. I started doing Zoom calls, and I said, no, let me come over. So I came over. I started working with her leaders and trying to give them the philosophy of network marketing. And, you know, it says it in the book, and I know it sounds crazy. Help enough people get what they want, and you will get what you want. I know it sounds like, you know, just words, but do you know what? There isn't a truer thing on this earth right now. If you can incorporate that, and when I'm saying giving, you don't give to get back. You give to help that person become better.
Yeah. And Al, that's fantastic. Al, so what did you say to those leaders? You had the leaders there. Julia was there. They were kind of on the edge of their seat. They wanted something to happen so badly. How did you move them? Where did you move them to get them to a place of lifting off?
Well, at the time, Julia had a lot of the old NSAers in, what I call the old rhinos, a bit like myself. They've been in the business for 15 years. They've just been plodding along and not really going anywhere. And I said to her, you need to get new blood. You need to get brand new blood, people, because it's changed. This business has now gone cyber. You know, people are on the internet. When I first started this business, like James, we didn't even have phones, anyone. We didn't have phones. You know what I mean? Never mind computers. But you guys, you can press a button now and you can hit 1,000 people in one go. So Julia came over. And the good thing about it, Julia and John Holowati and Emma Snedden and Katie Ravy and all these people, what they've done is they have took my 25 years or 27 years of information and knowledge and downers and uppers and everything, the way it's gone, the journey, they've been able to translate that now into cyber language, right? And how they did it, I don't know, because I'm not cyber, I'm a dinosaur, yeah? But John Holowati was the instigator. He got my head. You know, it's like Cassie, when I started working with Cassie, I saw this girl sort of really rumbling. I mean, she was doing like 150 people a month on new orders. I was thinking, this is crazy. You only need 28. Why is she doing that every month? So I said to her, hey, listen, I'm not being funny, but you shouldn't be doing this that many. You should be actually recruiting out of all these people. So she had about 400 or 500 people literally on the product. I said, right, put a thing down there saying, you know, I know you like the product and I'm expanding my business in your area. You may know somebody who could be interested. And she did that, and the rest is history.
Really? And she got a fantastic response, did she, on Facebook?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Same with Katie Ravy.
Yeah.
The same with Emma Snedden.
But Al, let me ask you just a little bit about John, because obviously, you know, it's a huge success story with John. But the thing is, he'd been in the business for 3 or 4 years before you really...
Two and a half years,
Yeah. So what was the thing? I think he came to you one day and said, can you make any money out of this?
I tell you what, he'd been in the business for, I think, 18 months. And I didn't even know about him. I didn't even know he existed in my business. Seriously, I went up to a meeting in Bury, and there was me, Shay Senior, Rob Molyneux, John, and 2 other people. Who they are, I have no idea. And at the end of whatever I did, John came up to me and he said, hey, listen, I earned 15 quid last month. from this business. Can you actually earn money from it? So I said, give me 90 days. And he gave me 90 days. Whatever I said, he did.
And what did you tell him to do in those 90 days?
One, to ring me and let me speak to his people. So it was all about three-way. He was in Manchester, I was in Bath. So he would ring me 4 times a day.
With people on the phone?
With people saying, I've just been speaking about you, Alex. Can you speak to this guy for me? So he just put me on to whoever it was. So I would tell him this, my story, and say, well, listen, and some people heard it and some people didn't. But the thing is, what John did, he made the numbers. He was doing the numbers. So somebody on a call would go, hey, hold on, I want more information. I like what that guy said.
Yeah.
It's numbers, right? Yeah. And me and John went through the numbers over and over again. But what we did do as well is we got very close. So we weren't just talking about the business, we were talking about life and the psychology of what we're trying to do. And that's where what your mentor's meant to take you to that other area. There's another area that a lot of you have never even tapped into yet. And if I can put it in a nutshell, James, John Holowati started to explode, right? He exploded because then we hit the Facebook, we hit Twitter, we hit all this sort of stuff. And then I think we had a 3,000% growth in a month at one point, which is just beyond anything you can think of. I mean, we didn't know what to do. It was just going mental. But the interesting thing is what John did, right, was kept that information going down line. He would pass on the information I gave him, which I got from James and all these other people. He would pass that on to his group. And he wouldn't let them shift. He wouldn't let them say, no, do it like this because it works.
And when you say, I'll do it like this, what do you specifically, what was he specifically saying to his people that really got them lined, really, straightforward in what they were going to do?
Massive action, massive dreams, and massive passion.
Yeah.
That's all you need in this business, seriously. Everything else is excuses. You can say, oh, I'm not successful because. Forget all the because. If you want to be successful in this business, you can look after your children, you can look after your husband, you can look after your wife at the same time as actually building a massive business. Ask people like, God, Emma Snedden. They built a business where her husband doesn't have to work anymore. Julia Krychak, her husband, I'm not being funny, but she said, I'm going to get a double whammy here. I mean, I'm not saying she's greedy, but she's clever and she's a hard grafter. But guess what? She went PMD, and 2 months later, her husband went PMD.
Wow.
I don't want to tell you, I'm not allowed to mention, because somebody might be on this call, but we're not allowed to mention figures, how much that they bring in. Don't forget, she was probably struggling 3 years ago. Her and her husband earn, I'm not allowed to say, James, because but it's just nutty money. It's crazy money. I mean, it's rock star stuff.
Yeah.
And all she does to me now, she just sends me hearts through the post. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I know how much she's earning, because obviously I can see everything. But I'm not being funny. She did that for her family. Her drive, her passion was to change her family's life. If I say to you, she's on over $1 million a year right now, what she's bringing into her household as a family is over $1 million a year.
That's incredible.
You know what I mean? I mean, these guys are.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, Al, I'm just going to make a message to everyone now on the call, and we're going to go into a period now in just a moment of questions.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah. So we'll give it a whirl.
Right,
So if you're on the line now, and I can see we've got a lot of people on the line, now's the time to start putting through the question. I can see that we've already got some questions coming through. Okay, so we got no real questions coming quite through yet. So
come on, guys, give me something I can think about.
Come on.
Gordon, you've got one.
Yeah. So let's have some questions.
I'm sure you have.
Let's have some questions. So
come on, fire them at me. The ones that you go, oh, I can't do this, or I think about that, or whatever. Go on, give me something.
Yeah, yeah. So Al, when we think about, I mean, one question I really do want to ask you about is where you feel we're positioned now in terms of, the potential growth. Because some people are going to be on the call tonight and going to say,
Yeah.
well, I'm not sure where this business is going. And hopefully, going to Liverpool, you would see that we are just so on track as a company.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what do you feel, Al?
I network marketing businesses, because I've been in the business for such a long time now. It has a growth stage, then it has a leveling out stage. Yeah. Then it has a growth stage, then it has a leveling out stage. That's how network marketing is. And guess what? That's how your business will be, because that's how it is. Yeah. You come to a point where you sort of slow down recruiting, but your leaders are becoming more and more powerful. Yeah. Me personally, I only speak to 3 people. I only work with 3 people at one time with clarity. Where are we stated with this business right now? Trust me, with the Omega, which is going to take it to another level. Yeah. But just you wait until those tower gardens come in. They're holding them back now because it will be insane what happens. You will see them in hotel rooms. You will see them in shops. You will see them absolutely everywhere. And some people on this line right now who stick with it, and you don't have to. Hey, you can do whatever you want, right? You can go wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. But 27 years on right now, this very second, I am more excited about this business than I ever have been, because I know where it's going to go. And if you do what you're meant to do, right, and using all these, Facebook, social media, all this sort of stuff right now, if you grasp it, and guess what? Anyone who's moving with social media, whether in your business or not, ring them up. Say, what are you doing? What words do you use? Because that's what I do. I mean, I'm on Facebook all day long, and I watch all the distributors. And if somebody says something wrong, I inbox them and say, don't use that word, use this. Yeah, don't swear on your video, your personal video, because people that won't attract folk. Yeah, there was another girl. I don't know if anyone saw it, but she was driving along and she's got a no smoking sign in the car, but she's got a big fag out the door like that. Yeah, and I said to her, hey babe, you don't want to be doing that, because you can see the non-smoking thing and you're giving it all that, And guess what? When you say that from somebody who's got experience, and you mean it in the right way, you're not trying to tell them off. You're just saying, hey, twist that a little bit more and don't do it. If you say it in the right way with compassion, it's about doing it with compassion and showing people. They are so pleased that you tell them, even the craziest people, even the craziest. I mean, there ain't another bird on this planet more crazy than Cassie Smith, right? She was like a rough diamond, just brought out the ground. But for whatever reason, she allowed me just to smooth her off. And I'm still smoothing her off. I'm still doing it now, because that mentoring doesn't stop when you go NMD. It doesn't stop when you go IMD. It doesn't stop when you go PMD. It continues. Like, my mentor is still the same mentor 27 years ago.
Yeah.
I spoke to him yesterday, in Geneva or wherever he was. I spoke to him and just threw a few things past him. Yeah, my thoughts, because we all get to certain stages, regardless of how long you've been in the business. It doesn't make any difference what position you're in. You've got to remember that we're all human, and we all have ups and we all have downs, and we all have this and we all have that. And your mentor's there to just throw it past him or her and say, you know what, I've been thinking like this, and they'll bring you back on track.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We got some. No, this is pure gold. What you're saying. We've got some very interesting questions coming up now.
Sure.
And a couple of them. What are your 3 top tips for someone just starting out? What would you say? Because a number of people on the call who are really just getting going now. Do you have them sitting around in a circle round you right now in your place? What would you be saying to them?
Persistency, consistency, and tenacity.
Yeah.
Governed or driven with passion.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Seriously, James, I'm the most simple guy in the world. If you've got consistency, you're not going to fail. If you've got consistency, persistency, you're continuing on. Even when the day's bad, even when it's raining, even when the kids are giving you an hard time, you're still getting out there and doing it. You know, this is what Richard Branson did. This is what Muhammad Ali did. This is what anybody who's succeeded, they've gone through that pain barrier. If you're not feeling pain as you're growing, you ain't growing.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah, and Al, some people may say, right, okay, I want to give it a real 90 days now. I want to give it right up to Christmas. I'm going to give it everything I've got, right?
Yeah.
If someone said that to you, what would you say to them that they need to be doing on a daily basis?
One, ring me every day and tell me what you've done. Share your day with me.
Yeah.
Share your day with me. I will ring you. Let's sit down. Let's make a plan of action. Make a plan of action. How many PCPs does your group need to do in order for you to go to sales coordinator? And who in your group are the players? Let me speak to the players. Let's make sure they bought into what they're trying to do. You have to buy into it, guys. It ain't just going to happen. Trust me. You know, if you've got a flat tire on the motorway and it's absolutely pissing down with rain, and you've got your kids in the back of the car, and and guess what? You get out of the car and you haven't got a jack to put your wheel on. Yeah, think about it. Pouring rain, kids screaming in the back, and you haven't got a jack because your old man took it out the night before to fix his own car. What do? How do you think? If you think positive, somebody will stop on the motorway and lend you their jack and probably help you put the wheel on. Or you can go, oh my God, here we go. Here we go. You know, my life is shit. Yeah. But guess what? Think about it. Put positive stuff in the universe. If you put positive stuff in the universe consistently and persistently, yeah, you keep putting it out, just keep putting it out. Even when somebody pulls in front of you on the motorway and you think, oh, that guy nearly cut me up, just go, hey, it's cool. It's cool. Because all these things are going into your universe. Not my universe, your universe. And it took me a long time, seriously, because like I say, I was brought up on the wrong end of the track. So I was always getting into trouble because I didn't know that if I kept putting good stuff out, eventually it's going to come back. And it's a real weird thing, guys. It's a real weird one, but it actually happens. It actually happens.
Al, you've obviously changed. I mean, you know, your mindset is absolutely amazing, right? And obviously, and we all know that from your speech that you gave in Liverpool, which was just beyond all imaginationally.
Yeah, thanks, James. I have to get it off my chest.
But you know, some people would say, what is your daily sort of diet mentally to keep you focused, centered, positive? Are you someone that does listen to tapes, read books, or I mean, I know
not a lot. Not a lot.
What do you do? Listen to stuff in the car, and what do you listen to?
I stay hungry. I stay hungry.
What do you mean by that?
I don't do Hollywood.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not being funny, James, but when I bought my motor.
And tell us what it is.
Well, an Aston Martin DB11, 200 grand's worth, which is
cash, of course.
I mean, hey, you know, a guy from Moss Side, you know, doesn't read or write and rastas and all that. It's just off the clock stuff.
And it's parked outside your place now?
Yeah, and I'm having an affair with it at the moment. I haven't actually given her a name yet, because it's like it's driving a very sophisticated lady.
Oh, right. Well, I think we should have some.
It's the most amazing car.
I think tonight should be the night where we name your car.
Oh, I don't know. It's got to be a good name.
Put through suggestions.
Yeah, maybe these guys should give me a name for my car.
Yes, you know, I think so. We could say that this was the night when that car was given a name. So if you've got any ideas, put them forward.
I can't think of anything right now, really. But I know that she will name her own name. I know that one day.
Oh, we've got a lot of names coming in. Juicy Lucy, Melissa.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. If I explained about the car, they'd probably change the names. Seriously. I think Michelle's got an idea of what sort of motor it is.
Yeah, but Al, talk us through some of your books, or I mean, you know, your tapes that you've listened to that have had a huge impact on you.
Jim Rohn, How to Build a Large Successful Network Marketing Business.
Yeah, that's the CD that I listen to that a lot. Yeah.
It's very basic, but it's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true. And all what you're going through right now, Jim Rowan's actually speaking about that on the actual tape.
Yeah.
So you will relate to it and go, hey, hold on a minute. He's telling me, you know, like, give you an example. One thing that really sticks in my mind is, you know, when we're actually on the water and we're actually in a yacht, you know, the same wind blows on us all. The same wind blows on us all. It all depends where you're focused to take your boat.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. So we've all got the same opportunity. You guys have got the same opportunity as me.
Yeah.
Whether or not you're prepared to get out of that, because if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get exactly what you got. If I kept being naughty, I'm still going to keep getting in trouble. That's how it was, yeah. And I didn't want to be in trouble, so I had to really work hard at maybe getting that information into but also practicing it as well. It's all right saying, oh yeah, I'm going to change. Yeah, how are you going to change? You know, if you keep doing and this is amazing, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get exactly what you've got. Now, you've heard that a million times, but just think about it. Are you doing exactly what you did yesterday, last month, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 5 years ago?
Yep.
If you're still doing that with the same, you haven't got out the blueprint. You haven't had the courage to get out the blueprint and make a mistake.
Yeah.
Don't be scared to make mistakes in this business. Like I said, I failed my way to NMD. I failed my way. I did so many wrong things that somebody had to go right.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, but you know, Al, you remember when you said you were sitting on the stairs and you were crying out to Shay and you were saying, Shay, when is my business ever going to go? When is it going to really explode? What did he say to you? Because obviously it did happen.
I'll tell you exactly what he said to me. When the timing's right. When the timing's right. Yeah.
That must have made you feel even worse.
I nearly killed him. Because I thought it was right every day because I was working really hard.
Yeah, and what do you think was the thing that pushed you over the line for the NMD scenario?
Not depending on other people.
Really?
Yeah.
Taking complete responsibility.
If it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. Nobody else is going to come along and butter my bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to do twice as hard, 3 times as hard, 5 times as hard. But when you get into that zone of working in that sort of level, you go into like an overdrive, or as Cheryl Cortese would say, if anyone knows her on here, you get into the zone.
Yeah, the zone.
The zone where you're thinking purely about the next move. The next move. Where do you move? And also, this business is about working. And if you've got a pen there, and I said this to a young laddie today who's trying to go NMD, you need to be working with the right people at the right time in the right area of your business if you want this to make it work. Not the wrong people at the wrong time in the wrong area. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah.
And what do you mean by that? In the wrong area or the right area?
Well, working with someone who, one, doesn't deserve it, won't get up their arse and do something, doesn't necessarily have the want or need to change their lives. They don't have goals. They're never working. But hey, guess what? I love having a coffee with you in Starbucks because you're really good fun. Hello. Do you know where I'm coming from? And so many people work with people where it's a bit more fun, but they don't make the actual till go ka-ching.
Yeah.
Really, it's all about the ka-ching.
Yeah.
But it's not your ka-ching.
But Al,
ka-ching.
Al, you're a great expert of going down into the teams and finding people who really...
Yeah, Michelle, smile then. I love you, Michelle. You're a top chick.
Yeah. But the thing is, right, is that what do you look for in someone when you're looking in someone's team?
Yeah.
A real star.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
Somebody who will, somebody who wants something and wants it more than me. For them, their passion. It's all about passion. I call this business a bit like a vehicle. You can drive a Ferrari or you can drive a Mini. Your passion is the benzene that you're putting in the vehicle. Your passion is the benzene, petrol, if anyone doesn't understand that. The petrol that you're putting in your vehicle, you can drive either a Ferrari or you can drive a Mini. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Passion.
Yeah. And I don't care. And I don't care how raw you were, because you were never as raw as me. Trust me, I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really funny. I mean, is there anybody here from? Is there anyone on this line from corporate?
I don't think they dare. Come on now.
No, they do actually. I get on really well with corporate. They like me.
Amazing.
But one little thing, right? You know, we're not meant to talk about money, but somebody in my business, right, who we know very, very well, and this is, you know, I don't even mind saying it. You know, I might get slapped hands on Monday, but you know, Cassie rang me up and she said, you know, she got hit by another network and her business was getting a bit like that, and she was going through a divorce. It was all really painful for her. But she just bought, you know, from a caravan now to a £475,000 house in Kent. You know, this is where this girl's gone from, you know, from absolutely nothing, £5 in her pocket to, you know, because I actually helped her. I gave her the mortgage broker so that she can sort it all out. Just moved in, sent her some flowers. But it's really interesting. She said, oh, yeah, my business has dropped a bit, Alex. No, this is really funny. No, seriously, I couldn't believe this. Oh, my business has dropped a little bit, Alex. I said, so what are you pulling now, Cassie? And she went, it's only 25 a month. 25 a month? And she didn't have a fiver when she first started the business nearly 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not being funny, but can this business change people's lives? I think so. I think so. And by the way, Cassie is becoming more rounded every day, which is the interesting thing, because she actually has to. She has to grow out of the person she was into somebody who can mentor other women that were like her, that now she can start smoothing their edges off. Isn't that great how it passes on? And do you know the big thing that I like about this? All this information that we get, right? And we, you know, we're talking about building the business, growing, you know, doing our goals, all this sort of stuff. Do you know what? We're passing that on to our children. We're passing that stuff onto our children. Yeah. I love that.
No, it's an amazing legacy, Al.
And guess what? The other one, which gets even better, you're going to pass it on to the grandchildren. So it's, you know, when you're dead, your kids and their grandkids and the great-great-grandkids are going to be starting the information that you gave your children. Because my kids don't go, oh, Dad, I want to be successful. They go, I'm going to be. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
To give that power to young people. If I would have had this information when I was 21, oh, Jesus, if somebody would have grabbed me, you know, and said, Alex, you need to understand this, you know, where would I be now? I tell you what, Roberti, watch out for your ass. Seriously, and I do mean that.
Yeah, no, Al. I can see that. Well, Al, look, we're over time now.
Okay.
And you have been absolutely spectacular. I mean, you're candid, you're so candid, straightforward, honest, but above all, you're just the most amazing person. So we are so honored to have you on.
Oh, thanks, James. I really appreciate that. Really, you know, if I've given you anything, just anything, then thank you for allowing me to give it to you. I really do mean that.
This call is recorded, so I'll get it over to you. But it really has been.
You don't need to, as long as everyone's happy. Rock and roll, man. You know, I don't need to hear myself again. But what I'm doing in the new year, which some of you may be interested in, is because I'm doing so many Zoom calls at the moment. Sometimes I do like 3 to 4 a night. You know, yeah, I know it's crazy. 11 o'clock in the morning to Australia as well, which is all off the clock stuff. And that's not bragging or anything, but what I am doing is I'm going to be doing in the new year. I'm setting up. You might find this helpful, Michelle or Gordon. I'm doing a mentoring course, like with stuff that I've learned along the way. It's not just all about Juice Plus. You know, I probably won't even. By the way, did I mention raw fruits and vegetables all the way through that? Not once. Yeah, nice one. It could be Mars bars, guys. It could be Mars bars. It's the same psychology. It's the same information. Okay. So, you know, it's great. We do have an amazing product, and it's going to go on forever. It's going to go on forever. It's never going to go away. But guess what? How you want to drive it determines on where you really want to drive it. Like the Spice Girls said, I really, really want it. Yeah. So I'm going to leave you now, James. Thank you very much.
Oh, absolutely amazing. And thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. It's been such an honor having you on out.
One little thing. Stay cool, stay happy, and stay true. Nice one, guys.
Take care, Al.
Thank you, James.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Take care.